Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're watching Battlestar Galactica. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are watching episode 16 of season 2 of Battlestar Galactica. I have to say the last episode, I was kind of hot and cold the entire episode of whether or not I was liking what was going on. But definitely by the end, we got that Battlestar Galactica, earned heartfelt moment. And I truly thought it was beautiful. But the way the episode was going, like there was obviously the cool parts where they're, flying around the minefield. I call it a minefield, but it's like chunks of rock breaking off of the mine rock. I don't know what to call it. Anyway, but I thought that was like visually stunning. It was beautiful. And I loved the art concept for Scar because it's like literally a scar and he's seen a thing or two. Some people were saying that it's the same raider that Starbuck took down on the planet. But that means that like it's the same raider that went back to Caprica and that Sharon took, and somehow they inserted a new body into it because she lobotomized that thing. So I don't think it's the same one, but still, he has trauma from previous fights with Starbuck, I'm sure. And learning that like the Raiders are also resurrected is very interesting. We already knew that they were organic on the inside, and it's very confusing as to how like that's possible because like my mind can't shift around the fact that they have Cylons that are humans. So like what is the inside of the ship? Is it just a brain? Is it a full, it needed air, it needed oxygen, which doesn't seem like that smart of a design, just saying. I don't know why having something organic in it like is a thing. Like it should just be a robot because then you don't worry about losing those necessarily. But the fact that they remember, I think probably is the key to that, is that they will remember, certain missions and certain fighters that they've already faced and certain ships and like locations. And I do think that that's smart. But it was kind of a surprise to learn that from Boomer. Now, I will say that I did not enjoy the fighting that was going on between Kat and Starbuck. I have a real hard time with Starbuck's drinking. Most of the time it doesn't interfere with her job, but it definitely was this time around, like her like canceling a mission and somebody else dying on that mission, and her just like drinking all night to like self-medicate because she doesn't want to believe that either A, Anders is dead, or B, it's easier to think of him as dead because then she doesn't have to worry about him actually being alive. But like she's heartbroken and it's hard for her to like have to keep losing people and like letting go. And while I get it, the best answer is definitely not to drown yourself in alcohol. Kat calling her out, I think if you pull somebody aside and you say that, that's fine. But in front of everybody, kind of undermining her, ooh, man, that did not sit well with me. And Kat's not wrong. I don't think anything she said was really wrong, other than kind of comparing Starbuck to Ty, which is 100% true. But now you're also disrespecting your XO. So I'm just saying, like, maybe she could have just been like, Starbuck, like, let's have a word. And then like they had in the room by themselves. And like, I'd say they duked it out, but Kat threw a right hook. And I don't know if she knocked sense into Starbuck or if that gained respect in Starbuck's eyes. I'm not sure. But I feel like that's a better scenario than in front of everybody, whether you guys are out drinking, whether it is in the bunks. Like it's too much for me. It's just a pissing match at that point. It's just really gross to watch, especially between two women who could potentially be like really freaking cool, but like they're in hard situations and they're dealing with it the best they can. I just don't enjoy it. It's never going to be something I like. Even between Hilo and Chief, like I was like, okay, are you guys over it yet? Like, I don't know how I would be in either one of those situations, but it's just like, we don't have time for this. The human race is dying. Can we figure some shit out and just move on? Now, it's really interesting that at the time, I was really upset about how the deaths of the Olympic carrier were handled, especially with Commander Adama, who was commander at the time. And how he's just like, you just have to let it go. Like, you just have to move on. that makes my skin crawl because I'm not somebody who can move on. That shit will live with me. And so I'm more like the president and like Lee by like having like the name, the Olympic carrier written on a piece of paper and just remembering it every single day. And yes, feeling slightly guilty about it, but not forgetting completely. And I don't think that that's really what Commander Adama was saying at the time, but like he didn't offer any way of helping move past it other than just say, you got to let it go. But then you then see them talking about the pilots that they've lost and, you know, like, oh, I can't remember their faces and I can't even remember their names. And she remembers each and every one of their names. And that moment, like, it just like shows you that like Starbuck is more than just like a cocky fighter and, you know, someone who, you know, drowns herself in alcohol to deal with her problems. And like, you know, she has a lot of heart and she remembers them because she does think that they are important. And, you know, she had a hard time shooting at the Olympic carrier. So like, you know, she also has a hard time like doling out death to people. Maybe not to Cylons or Raiders, but, you know, she was sweating buckets at the idea of, you know, shooting Admiral Kane, probably because she knew that she was probably going to have to sacrifice her own life in that moment. She wasn't going to make it out of it alive. I highly doubt somebody wouldn't have shot her. You know, so she doesn't take it lightly. It's not easy for her. And I really appreciated that moment by her. And I think that like, you know, you see Kat's face kind of drop a little bit where she's being cocky and like, fill my glass. And then she's just like, oh, she did care. So, you know, and they had the whole thing about remembering Riley's girlfriend and like how they couldn't remember her name. And, you know, you saw Kat put her picture up on the wall and it's still really sad that like no one really remembers her name. But the fact that Starbuck remembered everybody else's name, I think Kat kind of was like, oh, I see. I don't know if it changes their relationship for better, for worse, if they have a newfound respect for each other, but the fighting, it's got to stop, at least in front of people. If you want to go a couple rounds, like with some boxing gloves, you know, it's there and it's available to you. Feel free. You know, and you see Starbuck in that whole scenario with Hilo, and like that's her bestie. Like that's somebody that like she can talk to about stuff that like there's no physical, you know, connection there. There's no like emotional connection that is greater than just appreciation and friends. You know, they definitely see each other as comrades. And I think that like that's the relationship that she needs. She does not need to confide in Lee about her feelings. Lee's always going to be kind of like that weird spot where, you know, there's something there, but there really shouldn't be, but you can't really deny it completely. Lee kind of was having the same situation with Dee a little bit. I don't know if Dee and him will be a thing in the future. It seemed like she was kind of sad that he walked out of the room, and not that she was there with Billy. Billy's a nice alternative. They're both great guys. But you know, like she felt the spark with Lee, and I thought he felt a spark with her. So, you know, he definitely is still going through it. Now, we didn't get anything on Gaius in the last episode. Well, we kind of got a little bit of him, you know, saying like he didn't want to be vice president. It was the last thing that he wanted. Now it's the only thing he wants. And like this tiff with him and Rosalind, you know, she does not trust him. Rightfully so. She shouldn't. And he doesn't trust her. Rightfully so. He shouldn't. They are definitely on opposing sides, and him giving, I don't want to call her, I guess everyone calls her Gina. I think I'm supposed to call her Gina, so I'm just going to call her Gina. But giving Gina a nuclear weapon, which, by the way, Simon, who is a Patreon member and a friend of mine on Instagram, pointed out that Six says nuclear the way I say it, and Gaius says nuclear the way 50% of other people say it. So just remember, when I say it wrong, that's how the most smoking hot, most beautiful woman in the world says it. I'm not going to change it. Mostly because you'll see me thinking about saying the word, and I don't think that that's genuine or real. I'm just going to mispronounce stuff because that's me. It's the way it be. Sorry. Not sorry. So, and I guess there were new Vipers in the last episode, and I didn't really notice that. I don't know if I necessarily look at whether or not a ship is new. Like, I like an announcement. Like, this is the new Viper that was made on Pegasus. But like, we didn't get that, but I guess that was the case. If not, then we'll probably see them in the next couple episodes, or I'll really be looking out for it. But the fact that Pegasus can manufacture those ships, and now we have this ore that we can use after we've, killed the Cylons. I'm expecting a bunch of new ships, and I'm super excited about that because new ships equals space shit, and that makes me happy. Okay, guys, I'm super excited to get into this episode because, again, I have no idea where it's going. I have no idea what these episodes hold, and that excites me thoroughly. So, guys, let's get into it.
Sleeper agents within the fleet. Cylon impregnation, reproduction.
What is going on? Did she lose somebody? Yeah, it looks like it. Oh, what a horrible way to die. Yeah. Uh-oh. Is she gonna go after Sharon? Oh, I don't like where this is going.
Providing us with vital strategic intelligence.
Well, we pray that she's not somehow colluding with other Cylons.
If I felt for 1 second that she
True.
posed some kind of a threat to this fleet, I'd pull the trigger on her myself.
I think the fleet may need to hear that, Admiral.
Wow, Billy. Got some balls there.
Even more, they need to believe it.
Someone took their vitamin this morning.
Uh-huh.
I think you need to trust the people. Use the press, tell them the truth. I mean, we barely know anything about the Cylons, and until we learn more, we're not going to destroy the only source of information that we have, period.
Period. That's simple, huh?
Yeah, you tell him.
Could I have a minute?
Sure. Important.
You were saying about the hard questions?
It's just my debate team ring.
This really isn't how I planned it.
It's a proposal? Oh, Billy, that's way too soon, brother.
Billy, I can't marry you.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Billy.
I'm sorry.
Ouch. He rushed it.
I don't know what to make of me and Billy, but I know I can't marry him. Then again, I don't know what to make of you and me either.
It doesn't even have to be a choice. You just didn't want to marry Billy. That's it. It doesn't have to be you picked Lee over Billy and none of that nonsense. It doesn't have to be any of that.
Oh. Excuse me.
Ellen's such a bitch. Okay. What are all these eyes on her for? Oh, she wants to take a shot at Lee because the Admiral's keeping Sharon alive. Maybe? I don't know. Again, back to the discussion about Lee or Billy. It's not like she's making a choice. It doesn't have to be a choice between one or the other. She just knew in that moment she didn't want to marry Billy. So that does not mean she has to be with Lee.
Hey, 2 more.
Coming right up.
Uh-oh.
Ellen.
She's a man-eater. She lost her mark, or... She seemed very disappointed he walked away.
Billy,
Didn't know you were coming down here.
I thought I'd grab some R&R.
I'm on business, as usual.
At a bar?
Captain Adama.
Oh, that's uncomfortable. Sorry, Billy.
I really am an idiot, aren't I?
Oh, Billy.
A
Don't.
little bit, but it's not your fault.
I thought if anything, we were honest with each other. But you knew you were going to be here with him today, and you let me propose to you.
Let you propose to her?
You should have told me about this.
Yes, but let you propose to her?
To love only one person at a time. People like us are more complicated.
Us?
Yeah, what's that mean? Don't lump him together with you, Ellen. Gross.
Ellen, you're a regular here, right? You ever see that woman before in the corner?
Regular at a bar? Of course.
Ellen, the bathroom's over here.
Are you serious?
No, Ellen, not that.
Leah Dama, you amaze me.
Ew. What a trash bag.
This is it now. You ready?
Okay, so she's not after Lee. Who's she after? This guy? What's going on?
Do it.
Everybody by the bar! Now!
Who are they after?
Oh my God!
3 men, 1 woman, all armed.
But who are they after? I would assume Lee, but I guess that's not the case.
You know, if people knew how much you've relied on that thing so-called intelligence, they'd be scared out of their wits.
Yeah.
What
A little
about
bit.
you, Saul? Are you afraid of her? You know, the truth is, I don't like the way it's gotten under your skin.
You know when Adama gives you a side eye. Yikes. Ellen, put down your drink, girl.
Give me your drink.
Let me talk to them.
The ice. I need the dry ice.
Give me your drink. No, it's mine.
Ellen!
Please don't shoot.
Why is she such a pain in the ass?
My husband's XO of Galactica. You've just made the worst mistakes of your life.
Oh, that I don't know if like she was okay with that or scared about it.
You are working in collusion with a Cylon agent, the very same model of a Cylon who tried to murder you.
Yeah.
You want Sharon Valeri.
You have 2 hours.
Not how I thought she was going about it, but it makes sense. They don't know Lee's over there. Well, they might.
Who do we have aboard Cloud 9?
Rotation schedule shows Captain Adama, half a Marine squad, and Starbuck's already there on R&R.
Give
Oh.
me Starbuck right away.
Yes, sir.
Oh, well, that's handy to have her already over there. Just wandering around with a smoking martini.
Take a sip of carbon dioxide.
I was gonna say, how is he gonna touch it? Because I don't like the feeling of dry ice on my fingers.
Paige, you go.
No problem.
And he's gonna see that panel off the wall. Oh! All right, Lee. I dig it.
We got an unknown number of shooters, at least 20 hostages.
You got a plan, sir?
Lock and load. Let's figure out the rest as we go along.
Sounds like a Starbuck plan. I do think it's fun that they're in like fancy clothes while doing this. Fancier clothes than military style.
Put it down. She dies.
Hey, she dies, he dies. You get it?
Difference is you won't do it. He will.
You sure? You guys haven't killed anybody yet. Billy, don't do something stupid though. Cool. Billy like took his vitamins today, so he might have.
Okay.
Oh. Yeah. Not shocked. Billy, don't do anything, please.
CO2 is through the roof.
Probably a nick to line. Why don't you let me talk to the Admiral? See if we can't find a way out of this.
Smart.
Suddenly you're listening.
God damn it, give her what she wants!
Give her the Cylon!
Oh, Ellen, shut up.
This isn't
You said this was about us being played by the Cylons, but it isn't. It's about the loss of your husband, and I understand that. We've all lost people that we care about, and we learn to live with it.
Learning to live with it, it's one of the hardest things.
Caprica's defenses were compromised by a Cylon agent on the eve of the attacks.
Maybe we were just caught by surprise, and we're beaten.
You are being played, and the rest of us do not want to go down with your ship.
She's a really good actress.
Saul, we can't give her Sharon. I hope you know that, right?
Yeah, I can't.
I know that.
But he did just call her Sharon.
It's not Sharon. It's a fracking Cylon.
You don't think I know that?
He called her Sharon.
Bill, it's a machine.
So hard. Ugh, I love how there's no easy answers on this show whatsoever.
This is a recon mission. Get someone to volunteer, and then get the hell out of there. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Can we trust this guy, though?
I'm here to repair the O2 line.
She's going.
Captain, what are you doing?
Volunteering.
You have to go in with the overalls on, though. You can't go in looking like that. There we
Close
go.
the hatch.
Okay.
Search her.
The people who know. Ellen, don't you dare say a word. Damn.
Turn around, slowly.
I hate Ellen Ty so much. Oh, they went down easily. At least it's not in the heart. You can survive that. Oh! Freaking Ellen had to be like, oh, I know her. God. I know she didn't say that, but like, she's so bad at this situation.
Nobody said you could move.
Really?
Still want the Cylon? Because if the Admiral's son dies, you're not gonna get a deal. You get that? If he dies, you're not gonna get what you want.
Good job, Billy. Good job. Proud of you.
Lee got hit by friendly fire. I think it was me.
Give your orders.
She already has a hard enough time dealing with things. I don't think she needs to deal with this either.
I can't stop the bleeding.
What can I do?
Can't stop the
Put
bleeding.
your finger in the hole. That works. I am clearly not a doctor.
She's gonna be okay. Just hang in there. Come on.
That's very supportive, Billy. I appreciate you. Billy, don't do something stupid, though, please. Yeah, I know you see the extra gun. Damn it. Billy's gonna do something stupid.
You know that there are Cylons within this fleet. If I were to ask you, would you tell me who they are?
It's a smart question.
No.
That I believe.
Wow. It's a great scene there, though. It's filmed really, really cool. I like the lighting that they had on him.
He'll be all right.
You don't know that.
What? What are you gonna do?
You were gonna cheat on him at the beginning of the episode.
I'm giving you the Cylon, but you won't be alive.
They still have the other Sharon
Done.
in the work, don't they? It's a brilliant play, if that's what it
Cut
is.
the wire.
I'm pretty sure that's what he's doing. Not that I want them to kill Ellen Ty, but... I bet there's no baby in that belly.
Let's go.
Can somebody hug... Can somebody give her a hug? Starbuck is so traumatized.
Stop looking at him, Billy.
Yeah, stop doing that.
You've got nothing to prove.
I know.
Billy, don't do something stupid. Please don't do something stupid.
We're opening the door. But if anything goes wrong, we start killing hostages.
And then they just like let him like roll off of Cloud 9 with a dead body. They didn't think this plan through. Unless Admiral Adama is in there. Nope. That's wild. Okay. You happy?
This isn't right.
Billy, come on. Oh, Billy.
Kill the girlfriend.
Not shocked. Not shocked at all.
Down, report.
He was shot in the left side, too. Probably got him right in the heart. Rough episode for Billy.
Billy.
Unless his consciousness went somewhere else and there's another Billy somewhere. Fingers crossed for a Cylon.
He was so young.
Okay, had I known Billy was going to die at the end of this episode, I wouldn't have been so harsh at the beginning. Not that I was harsh, like, everyone has a right to say no to a proposal if they don't feel it. I've had somebody say, like, oh, I was going to propose during Christmas, and I was like, don't, because I'll say no. And that's kind of how I knew that relationship was over. I would say that she did owe him a little bit more than not really talking to him about not having those feelings. I don't know if he felt let on. Like, we don't really know the ins and outs of that relationship, but like, yeah, she did owe him honesty for sure. Especially if she's had conflicting feelings for somebody else. And I didn't see it as her choosing Lee instead of Billy. I saw it kind of her just not choosing Billy and then, seeing what's happening with Lee. But it's really sad, like he from the beginning of the episode was kind of finding his bravery and he was kind of acting a little out of character. That's like the one thing that kind of is bugging me a little bit, that it's just like all of a sudden he's, kind of finding the courage to stand up to Admiral Adama a little bit and kind of say his piece and not be afraid to say what needs to be said. And, I don't really like that they kind of built him up a little bit in the episode just to kill him off. I feel like that would have been nice if we had seen that. I mean, he did stand up to Rosalind when he said, I can't be part of this. And I really appreciated that about him, is him having that moment of this is a boundary and I'm not willing to cross it. I feel really bad, but him saying you let me ask you to marry me. Let you? What the hell do you mean let you? She didn't know. I didn't know what was happening until he was like, oh, we don't have to do it now. And I was like, oh, he is talking about marriage. I didn't know if it was I want to give you this ring or whatever. But you know what? I kind of also had the feeling that maybe he knew that she was kind of drifting a little bit away. And that was kind of a way to keep her kind of hooked on a little bit. And that never works. It never works. That is sad, and it breaks my heart for Rosalind because she had just said, Billy's my family, and, that's the way I feel about him. And, she was incredibly close to him. She depended on him a lot, and, he was there for her through her whole illness. He supported her, and he was by her side. Even with the Cylons, when they got aboard Galactica, and they were, I mean, he could have killed somebody with that gun, for sure, but, he was there for her, and, that's hard for her, and her moving the hair out of place. She was treating him like a son. Oh, it's sad. It's really sad. You know what? Just because we have a scene in a bar does not mean we have to have Ellen Ty there. God. The fact that Ty is they got Ellen, and it's she was going to cheat on you with Lee in the bathroom. Why do you think she's over at Cloud 9? It's not to hang out with her girlfriends. I obviously, she doesn't have any friends. That woman. Her recognizing Starbuck was just She drives me crazy. It's sad because there's like one character that I can direct all my hate and my anger towards, because I'll tell you on this show that like there's no direct right answer. There's always nuance, and there's always, a different way to think about things, and there's another side of this and another side of that, and I feel like because we're kind of like always in like this flux of like truth and what's good and what's right and what's wrong, that it's like you can be on both sides of the situation and try to meet somewhere in the middle, and like that just becomes increasingly harder and harder on this show. Giving them Sharon, I don't know what they were planning on doing with her after, like, they walked out. Obviously she was just going to shoot and kill Sharon. That by her shooting a dead body. Hope it made her feel better in that split second. But it was a really smart idea, and I mean, I kind of came up with it too, so maybe that's why I think that it's smart. But giving them the body of the other Sharon, it was very obvious that was a very, very, very dead Sharon. But like it fooled her. Didn't fool him very much, but it definitely fooled her. I think that was a smart idea. Now, Starbuck, I feel really bad for, because it just seems like she can't get away from traumatizing herself or letting something, profoundly affect her, and definitely shooting Lee and her thinking that she did. I kind of will have to go back and like rewatch that scene, because I'm not sure if that's what happened or not. But I would feel like if you're shooting, you kind of like know where you're shooting, and she knows it was a mistake. She's been through so much. Like, I want a therapist on board for her to talk to, and I want her to just be able to like hug it out. And I don't know, like she just needs some love, affection, and a generous ear, and somebody who's trained to help her kind of fix things. Because she just seems to get traumatized time and time again. Now, Sharon still being alive and still, using her as an asset, I do think Billy was right that the entire fleet needs to not lie. But I do think that still having other Cylons in the fleet and not knowing who they are, that's kind of giving them a lot of information. So I kind of agree with Admiral Dama of not giving that information out. You kind of just, again, there's no like right answer. Telling everybody to ease, 49,500 and, 60 people's fears, and like the 12 people that, may or may not be Cylons or are Cylons, or, I know that she said 8 other Cylons in the fleet. I don't know if she meant like there could be 8 other Sharon Valeries. I doubt it. But either way, the fact that there are, and I think that was kind of a crapshoot number. Like she doesn't really know like how many there were. She just wanted guys to not kill Chief. It's you don't want them to know that like that she's still alive, that she's on Galactica, that they're using her for military assistance, and I don't even know if they know that she's pregnant. I know that the other Cylons on Caprica do, so I guess that means the whole Cylon fleet would know. Probably, yeah. Lots of questions there. So I really expect Rosalind to not really let this go. I think it's probably going to affect her a lot. And again, no Gaius or Six in this episode, but I feel like in the next one, because if she's struggling, I have a feeling that Gaius is going to be involved. And I don't think he's going to be comforting whatsoever. Starbuck obviously is still going to be fairly traumatized. I hope she's okay. I kind of didn't really understand what Dee was saying at the end there by like, don't leave me, because she was saying like, don't leave me, like when she thought he was dying, like on the ground. But then when she said it again, I was like he just went to sleep. He didn't die. But then I remember her hanging outside of the bunks and him saying like, I didn't want to be alive anymore. And she's like, just saying like, you need to hang on. You need to come back. Like, it's almost like you're wanted here. Like, you're loved. Like, don't leave. And Starbuck hearing that, I think like one, she's going to have a hard time, like knowing that she shot Lee, but two, like, if he moves on and he's happy with somebody else, that might bother her, even though she said that like it will never happen between them. And I don't think that it's a great idea for it to happen between them, but like, that doesn't mean that she's not going to feel a pang of jealousy. No matter if no matter if the situation is exactly what you said you wanted it to be, that doesn't make feelings go away. I think Starbuck knows that they can't be together, and like that the whole situation is fracked, and like it isn't doable, but that doesn't make jealousy just disappear. Like it's kind of like when they're saying like, oh, you just move on from something. No, like feelings are feelings. They're still there for a reason. You just have to work through it and get it out of your system. But there was a big concentration on Boomer at the end of this episode with the camera work and her baby and like the half side of her face. And so I feel like, she's mulling over things, but like, telling Admiral Adama that she's not going to give up the other Cylons. And he says, I believe you. I don't even know if she knows who the other Cylons are. She may not. I have no idea. I feel like giving up all the Cylons would actually like make them like really believe her, but I feel like even she has kind of a moral code that she's living by a little bit in her head. At least I think. That's what I hope. We'll see. But guys, if you want to watch full-length reaction to this episode, it will be available on my Patreon and up to 2 episodes early. But in the meantime, like, subscribe, leave a comment down below. We all hate Ellen Ty, right? Yeah, I hate Ellen Ty. I can't stand her. She was like very, very happy that Lee was leading her into the bathroom. You tramp. I'm not a huge fan of Ty, but I don't want that for him either. And then her like messing up Starbuck being there. Ugh. But did you guys think about the dead body in the morgue? Because when it came to me, I was like, aha, I have a great idea. But I feel like if everybody thought it, then we're all onto the great idea. I don't know. I like thinking things before they happen, but it's really rare with this show. It's really hard to predict. So I think I kind of get really happy when I do that. But guys, looking forward to the next episode. No more Billy, R.I.P. But I'm really curious to see how this affects Rosalind, because I like her as a character, but this new fierce kind of person, I think she's going to be difficult to deal with. We'll see. All right, guys. On to the next episode. I'll see ya.